Hello, Mario Plush Maniacs. Welcome back to another discussion. So earlier this week, last week actually, Sine unveiled 6 new plushes that will be entering the All-Star Collection, and a lot more photos and details have surfaced since then. So you know what comes up after this. We always do as a part of our new plush coverage, we always do discussions based on these new plushes, and we just let you know our thoughts on what's coming up. So I am Mr. McCormick, and I'm the host of today's discussion. I am joined by MPN COO Evan Reynolds.
Hello everybody. I'm very happy to be here today. And today we're going to be covering some pretty fun stuff.
So 6 plushes, let's go over them real quick. First we have Birdo,
Monty Mole, Spike, Buzzy Beetle, Mecha Koopa, and Nabbit.
All those will be releasing in late October. So first of all, you might be expecting, like with the Koopalings not unboxing, but discussions we did, we were able to talk for a very long time about those plushes, but there is no way that we're going to be able to squeeze an hour out of these plushes because these are practically the same plushes. Now, a lot of you will think that is disappointing, and it is somewhat disappointing that they did not do more to change these plushes from their old Snake counterparts. But yeah, these are practically the same plushes, and today's discussion will probably be a lot shorter than you hoped, and that I hoped, and that we all hoped. So let's get started. We'll be going through each plush, and we'll be detailing its price on the site Mecha Japan. Now, we'll be using this Mecha Japan site as the source for all the pricing info because they're not on Amazon yet. I would have done Amazon, but they're not on Amazon Japan as of yet, but we'll make sure to update you via community post once they are up on Amazon Japan. And this will probably most likely be the place where I buy these plushes because Amazon Japan is very expensive, especially with the shipping. I think it charges for each item instead of combining it all together. So first things first, I just want to go through some of the prices on Mecha Japan. So the total price for all 6 of these new All-Star plushes on Mecha Japan in US dollars, including the standard shipping, is $84.38. So that is a pretty good deal for 6 brand new plushes that you can get on Mecha Japan. The total without the shipping is $62, but you absolutely have to pay for shipping, so that'll bump it up to around $80 or more, depending on which shipping service you decide to ship with. So we'll be going through all 6 plushes one by one, and we'll just detail things we notice. We have all of the original old Sine plushes here with us too, so we can just observe the differences that we see here. So first off is the All-Star Birdo Bailey. So Mr. Reynolds, you may start us off with the details that you see with this Birdo Bailey.
Well, so all the details so far is that the normal price for the Birdo is $10.82 total, and that goes for every other single plush. So the dimensions are, well, not for every single plush, some of them may vary. So $10.82 for her, and then the dimensions for her is 10 by 15 by 20 centimeters, 3.9 by 5.9 by 7.8 inches. So I'm guessing 7.8 inches. This Birdo is fairly small, and it's around the same height as the old Birdo. So let me see from here. The Mecha Japan photo shows a little different. So to me, comparing it looks the exact same. But the thing I noticed the most is that the bow is somewhat taller and is more stuffed and is more huge on the first photo. And the face structure is more wide, where her eyes are more widely stuffed, and it's more of like a lighter pink color. And I noticed the dots on her are more like of a purple color than the old one, which are like a dark purplish reddish mixed color. And I noticed that her stomach's a lot chubbier, so overall the photo, she's just more well stuffed. So sadly there's no differences here, just stuffed more properly. So the next photo is her front look. So comparing it to this one, she looks the exact same, like I said, just a little bit chubbier, so there's no difference besides that. The only difference is that like the top of her head where the point is, it's just a little tinier, like more smoothed out. Or not tinier, but more smoothed out and a little taller. So the side view, pretty much the same. Like I said, more stuffed, more of a long tail. Her arms are more down, her nails are more executed, and that's pretty much all. The other photos mostly the same, opposite side, the back of her. Nothing much to say on the back of her, just in kind of like a cleaner back body. Like I said, the bow is a lot taller and looks like 10 times better. And then it goes back to the original photo. So sadly, there is not much here. Overall, this can just be a re-release of the old one. So I'm just guessing that all of these plushes are mostly like kind of like a restock of the old ones, since some of the restocks of like Monty and stuff look a little different. So sadly, too much. I would recommend both Birdos because they're pretty much the same thing.
So I forgot to mention, but if you want to follow along with this discussion, we are using the listings that are on mechajapan.com, and that is also the same place where you could pre-order these plushes as well. So just want to get that out of the way. And my thoughts on Birdo, like Mr. Reynolds said, is exactly the same thing. That just the tip of the eyes looked a little more flattened out and looked wider. I think the dimensions are pretty much the same between this one and the old Birdo. So there's not much improvement, but there was not really much that needed to be improved with this Birdo sculpt in the first place. So I was hoping that it would at least be bigger to better match with the All-Star Yoshis, because those were significantly upgraded in terms of size, that they were so much bigger than their old counterparts. But Birdo, not much different, and we wish she could have been more. But I'll thank Mr. Reynolds for that. And now the next one we'll be covering is Monty Mole. So he is also $10.82. And Mr. Reynolds forgot to mention this, but that is the base price. That does not include the shipping, because once you add it to cart and are ready to check out, it'll add the shipping there, and you are able to choose different shipping services depending on how much you want to pay and how fast you want it to come. But yeah, these are the base prices. Monty Mole is also $10.82, just like Birdo, and his dimensions are 18 by 13 by 13 centimeters, and it is also 7 by 5 by 5 in inches. So we did the conversions right there for you. And when looking at the photos, these are practically the same thing. We have our restocked Monty Mole right here with us too, and when we examine the images, there is literally nothing different between these. The only thing, just, yeah, like Mr. Reynolds said, it's just a taller head. I think they just made him a little bit taller.
Yeah, like I said, because the old ones before the restocks, the old Monty Moles that first came out before the restocks, those ones look exactly like that. Because before the restocks, they had taller heads, but the restocks shortened their heads, I noticed. So there's nothing different at all whatsoever.
The only thing different I can notice between our Monty and this Monty is that the nails are longer and they go down more. But that's probably just based on our model. His ankles look better stuffed. That's the only thing I can notice. It's very tiny. His ankles are very tiny on ours, and I noticed that they're much thicker on this version. Back, there's nothing different to see. It's just that they removed a little stitch on the head where you can see that ours has a little line on the back of the head where there's a stitch on it. And when looking at this stock photo, they either took it at a specific angle where you can't see it, or they just removed that stitch entirely. But that's really the only thing that's different with this mole. Maybe the teeth is made with a thicker felt, but that's just speculation, and the whiskers are just as flimsy on the new one, and they droop down. So a pretty disappointing Monty with no visual upgrades at all that we can't see. It could be just bigger upscaled, but we'll have to wait until October until we can decide that. So Mr. Reynolds, your thoughts on Monty?
So yeah, like I said, just taller head, it's like a big disappointment that they didn't change a single thing with this one whatsoever. So I'd recommend getting the old one and the new one, because there's nothing different with it at all. But
the old one is going to be a lot more expensive. It is a lot expensive because the restocks ran out pretty soon after they actually were restocked. I'm speculating that the reason they even restocked them in the first place was just to get rid of the extra stock, to make room for these new moles. So now I'll move on to Spike. Mr. Reynolds?
Okay, so let's hear it with the old Sine Spike. So as we were pulling up the listing, it looks exactly like our old Spike from here. So to start off, sadly, there is not a single difference here. Everything just looks everything looks the exact same. The lips are just a little bigger, lighter color. That might be due to the wear of this one, I'm pretty sure. And the eyes are a little bigger. Nothing different here. Let's look at the front photo. Front photo still looks the same. It's kind of sad because he looks more serious now with his eyes. So that's the only thing that's kind of different. Again, bigger lips, a little bigger lips, but that might be because of our old aged one. Because our new ones look similar to this, but with the eyes like on the top. So sadly, nothing different at all. And the next photo. The shell just looks a little cleaner, a little bit neater. Everything, like I said, pretty much looks the same on the side view too. A little bit better stuffed. A little more different face structure. Side view still the same. Now the shell looks pretty much the same. It actually looks quite bigger and more stuffed, along with the body as well. So now we're back to the first photo, and let's get to the price of the Monty Mole. Spike. Excuse me. So the base price is $10.82, as I said, with the other plushes, and the width is 16 by 14 by 16 centimeters, and then the height of it is 6 by 5 by 6 inches, so only 6 inches tall, and I'm pretty sure that's the same height as the old Spike. So sadly, again here, nothing too different, so you can still get the old restock one over this one.
If you can find it, because the restock one is out of stock.
Yeah.
One thing I do wanted to add about the Spike is that I did notice some differences in the hair, actually. I just noticed that it looks like it's a lot more three-dimension compared to the one that I have. It's just a tiny, ever so slightly thicker, but that's the only difference that I could tell. Another disappointing new... Well, we're sounding very negative here, but the fact that these plushes are getting remade is a very, very good thing, because a lot of you have made it clear in the comments that you missed out on the old ones, or you sold them, or you just don't have them anymore for whatever reason. So the fact that they're making these is very good. It's very good for the people that never got to own them, and we're happy for the people that get to experience these cool plushes for the first time. But for us who have had the old ones and know everything about them, it is disappointing, because we wish that there was something more to talk about, and that there was more to get excited over with these.
Like this, we cover each plush like for only 2 minutes, because there's like really nothing to showcase that's different at all. But as we were saying, let's move on to Buzzy Beetle, and Sean will do a whole cover up on the Buzzy Beetle, and if it looks the exact same, which to me it looks the exact same, and it just looks like a new restock, sadly. So yeah.
But like Mr. Reynolds said, Buzzy Beetle is probably like the most disappointing one, and like kind of the most funny, because there's nothing different with this whatsoever. The only thing that I can think of is that its eyes are closer and much larger. I could have
sworn you had another restock one and the eyes were closer.
So yeah, the eyes are bigger, closer together. Let's get this front angle here. The smile is exactly the same. The shell is exactly the same. You can't see its underbelly to see if the stomach's different or not. So this is a very simple character, which is why I wasn't expecting the world with the All-Star Buzzy Beetle. There's not much they could really do to improve it besides just make it bigger. But the price is $8. My Buzzy Beetle is $8.41, and his dimensions are 12 by 14 by 10 centimeters. And in inches, that is 4 by 5 by 3.9 inches. So this is pretty much a carbon copy of the original Buzzy Beetle. They just smacked the new tag on one of the restocks and called it an All-Star one. So very disappointing Buzzy Beetle for us who have already had it, but this is a very good opportunity for anybody who didn't have it to get it, and we're happy for those people. So Mr. Reynolds, your thoughts on Buzzy Beetle?
So yeah, same thing with that Sean said. Everything's pretty much the same. I'm just guessing once we get them, they have like a better structure to them in a way, and they're like more stuffed and just a little bigger, because I can't imagine them looking a complete copy, but something a little different about it probably at the most. But yeah, nothing different, so this is probably the most disappointing one out of all, if not Mecha Koopa, which I'll be covering next. So to start off with, the base price of the Mecha Koopa is $9.61. I mean, not $9.61. $9.61. I was thinking of the dimensions and height. But anyway, so Sean just lost the page real quick. We'll get that back. But
This page is being very glitchy. Let me try and pull it up.
So let's start with the dimensions. It is 8 by 18 by 15 centimeters in inches. That is 3 by 7 by 5.9 inches. The page is loading a lot for some reason, and yeah, so
there's pretty much nothing different about it, but I don't think.
Yeah, we got the page back. Let's try and get it back up. Sorry guys, this Mecha Koopa one might seem like it'll last a long time, but it's due to interruptions. So let's see.
Like I said, this is Mecha Japan, so if you want to follow along with us, just go to mecha-japan.com. You could also pre-order all these plushes, and they'll be released at the very end of October. The release date says October 31st, but that is almost certainly a placeholder title. And Amazon Japan will eventually have the release date, so make sure to stay tuned to our community post for that information. So, Mr. Reynolds, Mecha Koopa.
So, Mecha Koopa might actually be a little different one, because from the side view, it looks a little different. From here, it looks like the eyes are more mashed down. It's kind of like hard to explain, like the face structure, but everything is mostly the exact same, except like for that little face part. Let's try and get the front view. So the front view, it looks better because the eyes are more bigger. They're more plastered down because ours are like going up in like a pyramid shaped, and then those ones are like completely straight down. So nothing too much different besides the eyes, as I said. Side view, pretty much the same. But I want to do one last thing. One last difference is that the buttons actually have like a black line, or not the buttons, the screws are actually a little different. They have a black line in between them, but our restock was a defective one because it didn't have that, because other Mecha Koopas actually did have that detail, so I don't know why I pointed that out, but that is not a difference because ours was just a restock defect, so nothing different besides the eyes, as I was saying. Same side as the other one. Now let's take a look at the back. Back is pretty much the same. It looks like the key's a little more sturdier, and the hair's a little more structured together. And the body actually kind of looks more tilted down and more stuffed. So we're back to photo one, and as I was saying, nothing too different with the Mecha Koopa. Sadly, another disappointment, but the eyes are the only thing different.
Okay, the last one in this new edition is probably the weirdest one. It was the one that I was questioning the most. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not mad that they made it, but the first thing I just thought was why? Why add a Nabbit? Because Nabbit was in the new Super Mario Bros. U set, and he was a very underutilized character then, and still to this day in 2022, he is still a very underutilized character. I think his last appearance was in Smash Bros. as a spirit, I think. People might have to correct me on that, but he was in Mario Party 10, I know that. But he has not made any significant appearances in any Mario game since his debut game, or Super Luigi U. So it's very odd that they made a Nabbit in the first place, but he has become the rarest of the Mario Bros. U set, so this is a good opportunity for Nabbit fans or Nabbit people to get this plush. So yeah, let's start off. Everything looks the exact same on this plush. I just think the legs are a little bit longer. It has better feet, better shoes. And one thing that I did notice is that his eyes are a little bit bigger and they are further apart. And that the bib looks the exact same. Everything else is the exact same. It's a little bit bigger, the bib, because it goes down a little bit. It leaves a tiny bit of space between the bib and the end of his body, but on ours, there's a lot more room between the legs and the bib. So second photo looks the exact same as ours. Nothing different about it, maybe just more stuffed ears, that's all I can see on this. Back of it, the tail looks actually tinier on the photo, but that could just be because it blends in with the actual other photos. So Nabbit, the only thing I noticed that was different was just... And the sack. The sack where he has all his goodies looks a little bit bigger too. It's bigger and it has a different color, but Mr. Reynolds did get this plush pre-owned, so it could have been just... The color could have degraded over time. So Nabbit, very weird addition. Now let's get on to its price and dimensions. So it is the most expensive out of these new ones on Mecha Japan. It is $12.02. Haha, 2 cents, get it? And the dimensions are 14 by 13 by 23 centimeters. and in inches that is 5 by 5 by 9 inches. Nabbit, very weird. Mr. Reynolds, your thoughts?
So my thoughts on him are pretty much the same as I keep on saying, because like really there's no change. But one change I noticed is that the ears are a little taller, and they're more in a curvy, more detailed shape. And I noticed that he's an actual like more like of a what's it called, indigo color. He's more of like that indigo color, but that could be because of mine's kind of faded, but I'm pretty sure not, because this one's more of a purple. That one's more like of an indigo purple. Correct me if I'm wrong, because it looks like the color indigo, but then it also looks like a little purple with it. So I could be wrong, but it's just like a darker color overall, and nothing too much different with it. Overall, a good plush, and I would still get it, but it probably is still disappointing plush.
Okay, we have gone over individual plushes. That's pretty much the bulk of the discussion, but I just wanted to discuss how much this was a very disappointing wave, for me at least, because of the Koopalings. Well, the Koopalings are exactly the same too, but there was just something about the Koopalings that I was very excited over. I think because those were the first plushes that I knew I'd be getting on launch. I don't know what it was, but I just remember being more excited for those Koopalings than this, and I could notice at least a little differences, because there was a difference with Roy's glasses, with Lemmy looked different. Morton was made with a different fur.
More wider face too.
Yeah, so there was actually a little bit of noticeable changes with those ones.
And shell difference too, because like the shells were even more neater and more structured together. And like Wendy was also like a lighter pale color, and her jewelry was bigger.
But for these ones, these are practically carbon copies of everything. Like when you look at the photos, it can be hard to distinguish which one's an old 2014 one or which one's a new one. The only one that I can tell is new by the photo is Birdo, and to a lesser extent Monty Mole. But these are a very disappointing wave, if I do say so myself, for us who have collected these plushes for a while and who have all these plushes. It's not very exciting, but this is a very exciting time for the people who never had Birdo or Monty or Spike and who have wanted them for a while. Or for people who got rid of them for whatever reason, and this is their chance to get them again.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very happy for those people. But for us, it's not very exciting.
Yeah.
So we hope they make more waves with more unique characters, because these characters are already in the Super Mario set.
Yeah.
With the exception of Nabbit, who was in the Mario Bros. U set. But for the next waves, if there's more waves, we hope they make more unique characters. More original characters for the set.
I'm thinking they'll do like a Pauline, different color Toads, and like Sean was saying off camera that since they're doing all these miscellaneous ones, what if they're just gonna get the rest of the old official ones that were never a plush in the All-Star ones, so they'll like get Buzzy, Porky, and like all those. And
Pokey is another exclusion.
And then like we're thinking maybe they'll have the All-Star set up to 100. So that makes, if they probably won't do it up to 100, but if they were to, they would still have enough room, like for 20 some more plushes.
24.
Yeah, 24. So I think that would actually be a great way to end it off with up to 100. That would be enough plushes for the All-Star collection. Because again, this isn't a main Super Mario line. This is the All-Star collection line, and the main Super Mario line was just the old SNES ones because it was just called the Super Mario line. So these ones are just like a different set with all of them All-Star collection. So this isn't technically really a mainline set.
That didn't make sense, but yeah, I predicted that it'll probably end off at 100 because that would be a great place to end it off.
Yeah.
If that is true, I hope they include some more unique characters like Piantas or Pauline, because she's been Toadsworth, but Pauline has been shown a lot in a lot of new games like the sports games and Mario Odyssey, of course.
Perfect time for Pauline to come in, and plus we could have another lady princess, or she's not like the princess, but just like another lady like Rosalina, Daisy, and Peach. Perfect time. And
another enemy that they have been showing a lot to is Ninja, who appeared in Mario Maker 2, and they added him to Mario Golf, so that'd be a weird haha addition, but still I'd rather see that than
I could imagine him.
Chargin' Chuck. That was one they've been showing a lot. He was just in Mario Tour, and he was in Mario Golf last year as well, so
he's never gotten a plush either, because the only plush he has is the Victokai one, so that one's all rare too, so that'd be nice to finally get a Charging Chuck plush since there's only one in existence.
And some other large plushes too. I hope they make a large
Bowser, Rosalina,
Peach. Maybe because there's never been a large Peach other than the Good Stuff one, but I don't like Good Stuff ones. But hopefully they just make some stuff that's more unique. Yeah. That's new. I love Dry Bowser and Metal Mario and Poochie and the babies. Those were exciting new additions. I want more of that. I want more. I want Meowser. I want more original people. I want Flutter. I want Spear Guy. I want... Who else? I want a Stone Spike even. Yeah. Pokey I'd like to see brought over. But I'd like to see him with Balloon Boo, but he's pretty odd. I'd like to see Pokey, but with the Galaxy style Pokey, like the fake Banpresto one.
There's a real Banpresto one, I'm pretty sure, because where else would they get that offer from?
And who else? There's a lot of other people and enemies that they can make. They can make ice variants of Luigi. They can make Fire Peach, Fire Toad, Luigi. Fire Rosalina.
Oh yeah.
They can make who else? A Biker Wario if they wanted.
Yeah, more Donkey Kong.
More Kongs. We could use a Dixie, a Funky, maybe even a K. Rool because of the Smash Brothers tie-in.
Yeah, there's 2 King K. Rools and they're both official. So yeah.
We could have those Resnors that came back from Mario Bros. 2. New Super Mario Bros. 2.
Gooper
Blooper even though he hasn't appeared in 20 years. Dino Piranha. Petey Piranha would be a good one.
Yeah, he would. Only Popco has that one. And he's pretty good.
There's actually a lot of variants of Piranha Plants that there could be. There could be a Fire Piranha Plant. There could be those ones with the legs on them that grow and stick their heads out and do that.
Bone Piranha Plant.
Bone Piranha Plant's
those
the one
purple ones.
The purple ones, the Piranha Creepers, those ones that are in the water in the 2D Mario games that blow the spike ball up in the air. You could make one of those. You could also make the what are those called? Deep Cheeps, Eep Cheeps.
Cheap Chomp.
Cheap Chomp, one that I've championed for a while. Who else? Bone Goombas, Spike Tops. Who else? Camella. Even though she hasn't been shown in 15 years. Parabeetles. You could show that. They could.
Lewis.
They created colored variants of Mecha Koopa for Mario Maker 2. Colored variants of Shy Guys. Maybe colored Koopas because there is a blue Koopa in New Super Mario Bros. DS.
Isn't there different other Koopas with like the backwards hat or something?
Oh yeah, the free running Koopas. From those were in Mario Odyssey, and those also appeared in Mario Kart Tour.
If there's any like Paper Mario people, we don't know about those people too.
And there's actually a lot of characters from Mario Kart Tour that they could borrow from
Mario Kart Tour set,
or they could even make it their own set. Yeah. So they can make a Wintertime Peach. They can make a German Luigi, whatever that one's called, where he has the sausage on the hook. Meowser is in that one. Santa Bowser is in that one. Who else? Aurora Rosalina. Mr. Reynolds made. You can watch that video on the network.
Fairy Daisy.
There is a Fairy Daisy Robinson. There's also a Santa Daisy Robinson.
A Witch Rosalina.
Pretty much out of ideas, but the whole point of us listing those people was just to say how there's so much more characters that they could have made instead of just potential characters that could have made instead of just these boring re-releases from the Super Mario set. So yep.
And another thing, I have money and I'm thinking about pre-ordering the Birdo because she'll probably be fairly cheap. So I have money and hopefully, like right after, I can pre-order the Birdo. So I'm very excited because maybe I can pre-order Birdo.
So that pretty much wraps up all the discussion. We want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let us know if you have any of these original versions. Let us know if you have any, if you're interested in getting these once they come out. Let us know your general thoughts on them. If you're happy, if you're disappointed in things that you think they could have done to improve these plushes or made them different in any way. So let us know any and all of your thoughts on these 6 new plushes in the comments below. And once again, I was joined by Mr. Evan Reynolds.
And thank you guys so much for watching. We hope to hear your thoughts of these, and if you have any ideas of other potential All-Star plushes that can come in the near future, maybe if they'll come this year or next year, any of your ideas, we'd love to hear them. So goodbye, Plushie Maniacs, and we'll see you guys
thank you
next
very
time.
much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for all of our coverage of these new plushes. We'll make sure to unbox them on camera. We'll be the first to unbox them on YouTube once they release in October. So thank you very much for tuning into this discussion. We appreciate all of your support. Make sure to follow our social medias and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.